Other than the fact that this seems to have become our Friday tradition, I'm feeling real spicy today. So let's find out if more people are assholes. Hey babes! Welcome back to Moonbae Crochet. It is Brandy, and today I have more stories from r/am I the asshole. I honestly thought that I was going to run out of stories very quickly, and that doesn't seem to be the case. I am loving making these videos with you guys. I'm loving your feedback, and just in case the pool of these stories does start to dwindle a little bit, the invitation is still out there. If any of you have any stories that you would like to share with me, they don't have to be crazy bad stories like r/am I the asshole, but maybe if they are like even sweet heartfelt stories, any stories that you have to share that have to do with crochet, knit, scrapbooking, quilting, whatever it is that you do that you find fun and creative, if you have any stories that you think deserve to be shared online, please feel free to send them to my email address. It's always linked in every description of my videos. I would love to start being able to tell your guys' stories. I actually already got my first submission. I sort of read the beginning to like see that it was actually a submission for something like that. So yeah, but I didn't read the whole thing. I would love to just kind of get my raw reaction reading the stories for the first time on camera. So I do have one in my inbox already. That was so exciting. So if anybody else out there would love to share a story with me, I would love it if you would feel comfortable enough to do that. So feel free to hit me up in the inbox. But yeah, I picked out 4 r/am I the whole crochet stories for you guys today because one of them actually looks like it's really short. But really quick intro before we hop into this. My name is Brandy. I love to do crochet content on here, reading r/am I the whole stories, giving you my reactions, pattern reviews, sharing gift ideas for different types of holidays or any other special occasions, showing off my huge yarn stash, showing different things that I've crocheted recently, all types of things like that. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, I would love it if you would consider subscribing, sticking around. I love the community that we are building here. You guys are the best. Y'all, I had a day at work, okay? My God, just stressful environment, okay? People just really lack critical thinking skills. It's just too much sometimes, okay? I fully need a drink right about now. But you know what? It's the weekend, baby. It's time to just unwind and listen to some stories. So without further ado, let's hop right into this. I will remember this time to put up the text boxes so that you guys can follow along with the story. I'm so sorry that I forgot in my last video. I did address it in the description of that video. I felt so bad. But yes, I'm so sorry. I will include them this time, okay? So the title of this first one is, Am I the asshole for not wanting to crochet my friend's entire wedding dress for free? Most likely not, but let's see. So to make a long story short, don't make it short. I started kinda a weird tradition in my friend group. I'm not able to go to weddings much because I have kids, so instead I've been hand making crochet stuff for my friends to wear, mostly small things like scrunchies and gloves. Most of my friends have been super appreciative and love getting handmade gifts since they know it can take me hours or even days depending on how big it is. Well, we found out my friend Jay is getting married in April, and we were all super happy for her, but it does seem like short notice. Jay asked me if I could crochet her a wedding dress that looked like her grandmother's since the original dress was lost in a fire this summer. She wants everything to be exactly like her grandma's dress, down to the yarn color. I was a bit taken aback to say the least. A dress of that scale would take months to make, not to mention finding a color to match the yarn since it's not super easy. I asked her to send me some pictures of the dress to see what I could do, and let's just say the thing is gorgeous, but there's no way even a skilled crochet expert could get that done in less than 2 months. I politely explained to her that I couldn't possibly make the whole dress for her on such short notice, but I could make a cute shawl with the same stitch to pay homage to her grandma's dress. She responded by saying, somebody mentioned that the facial expressions I make while I'm reading these stories sometimes are hilarious because you can tell something crazy is about to happen. My face is an open book, unfortunately. She responded by saying I was a bitch because I was playing favorites with friends by not making her what she wanted, and then dramatically stormed off. Our friends are kinda split. All of them who do handmade crafts agreed with me that Jay's expectations are unrealistic. My other friends seemed torn because on one hand, this dress meant a lot more to her than just a regular project, and that I should have handled it more gently than I did. Okay, well, in my not so humble opinion, you are not the asshole for, first of all, the last sentence about that you should have handled it more gently. I think you handled it perfectly. You told her that it would be impossible to do a dress of that caliber in such a short amount of time, but you even offered to make her something similar, like a shawl or something, in the same stitch that the dress was made in to pay homage to the dress. How cute would that be? Like having your like wedding photos and you have this like shawl and then you can put it next to photos of you and your grandma in her wedding dress and they look like similar. Like that would be so adorable. I don't think that there's a gentler way that you could have handled this. If you had told her something like, no, I can't do that, sorry. Like, even that, first of all, is justified. But regardless, it's not like you were being mean about it. You offered to do something else too. You are absolutely not an asshole. And sometimes I think that when people are in like wedding planning mode and stuff, they turn into bridezillas, and I feel as though this is one of those situations. You know, not everybody, doesn't happen to everybody, okay? But I just kind of feel like you have never even made a wedding dress for somebody too, you know? And yes, I understand that it means a lot to her, but if she was like a normal person and wasn't like rushing to get married like that, then maybe if she had like a year until her wedding, then maybe you would have time and maybe it would have been a different situation. But it's not. She's getting married in 2 months. That is like an unrealistic amount of work to do in such a short amount of time. And I can't believe that she's not understanding about that. But I don't know. Sometimes the bridezilla goggles really distort reality for some people. But no, I think you handled it perfectly well. And yeah, maybe I am biased because I'm coming from a place of I do make handmade crafts. So I know how long it takes and I know like what a job that would be. But I don't know. I just think that is ridiculous. Let's see what people have to say. This person says, not the asshole. As a former hobbyist crocheter, my wrist ached at the thought of doing that much work. Also, what? Like, people getting wedding dresses done will have fittings and revisions to make sure everything fits. Is Jay expecting that as well? Even if you had all the materials sourced and ready to go, that's a full-time job just stitching the thing in 2 months. Sure, crochet projects grow quickly, which is why it can be surprisingly fast to do a scrunchie, or a glove, or a shawl. But a dress? Yikes. So basically, as a former crafter, you are not the asshole in the least. Completely agree. This person says, not the asshole. What kind of friend calls you a bitch for not doing a favor? I get being disappointed, but to get that angry at someone is crazy to me. I wrap my head around her entitlement at expecting you to drop everything and do this for her. If it were me, I'd be done with the friendship. It seems very one-sided based on what you've described here. This person says, not the asshole. Who in their right mind thinks that making, or in this case recreating, an entire wedding dress by hand is comparable to the request of crocheting a scrunchie or a pair of gloves? Besides, making something as large and elaborate as that would take months, like 8 months minimum, especially seeing as it's literally a hobby and not your full-time job or something you're even being compensated for. Even if you wanted to do that for her, it just wouldn't be possible on such short notice. You literally offered to make her a wedding shawl in the same stitch as her grandmother's dress, a lovely gesture that would honor her grandmother's memory and actually be possible for you to complete in time for the wedding. How much gentler could you have been? That's exactly what I was saying. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if she was also looking for a way to try and get the wedding dress she wanted, which would normally require months or even up to a year of advanced planning for it to be made. While it's very sad that her grandmother's crochet dress was tragically lost, it doesn't make her request reasonable or acceptable just because you also crochet gifts for your friends' weddings. If she's really going to hold that against you, I wouldn't be making her anything or consider her a friend moving forward. I completely agree. I think that you can cut her off, honestly, because depending on how like close you guys are, I just feel as though her going as far as to like call you out of your name simply because you were upfront and honest. Imagine if you had said, you know what, yeah, I can do it, and then you don't come through, and then she doesn't even have time to go find a dress for the wedding. That would be insanity. You were honest, you were upfront, and you offered to make her something else. And the thing that you offered to make her is still much bigger than the things that you make for your other friends' weddings, like scrunchies and gloves and whatever. Like, not the asshole. Moving on. This one is titled, Am I the asshole for not crocheting something for my two best friends? English isn't my first language, so sorry for any error. In the middle of summer break, I started crochet. I wasn't very good at it, and I'm still learning, but I can make a mean beanie within a week. I have two best friends that I've known for 5 years. Cassie, who is also my roommate, whom I share a dorm room with, and Zoe, who also has a room across from us. When the girls learnt of my new hobby, they started making fun of me, calling me a grandma and other offensive words, telling me it is a very stupid idea and that I just wasted time and money on it. They even went as far as calling me grandma in public and in their contact info, and posted a picture of me crocheting and sent it in the classroom's group chat with an insulting caption. Okay, you know what? I'm sorry, I need to interject here. Those aren't your friends, baby girl. I'm so sorry about it. They might be your friends, but you are not their friend. They're using you as a punching bag. Don't like that. Don't like that at all. Let's keep reading. A major incident happened where they used all the yarn I had as a makeshift rag/drying clothes rope when they spilled a bottle of ink on the floor while I wasn't there and got mad at me when I blew up at them. 2 days after the incident, I gifted our classmate a tote bag I made before and a keychain as a birthday gift. She absolutely loved it and went telling everyone that I'm a master at crochet, etc. Zoe and Cassie changed after this, always asking if I was going to make something for them, always saying backsided remarks like, oh my god, I would just love a handmade bag, etc. They even started sending me pictures of crochet patterns and projects that are way too advanced for me and telling me how they want the same thing but in their favorite color, etc. The straw that broke the camel's back was when I gifted my teacher matching blankets, pink and lavender, after they gave birth to twin girls. Aww. Zoe and Cassie got very mad, calling me a selfish bitch. What is with this word today? Are you joking? I'm sorry I keep interjecting, but this is pissing me off so bad. You know, unless somebody is actually being a bitch, you know, being rude for no reason, acting like they're better than everybody else, whatever, there is no reason to be calling them out of their name like that. That is ridiculous. Don't get me wrong, I love the word bitch, okay? Like in a non-derogatory way, like, bitch, I gotta tell you something. You know what I mean? But like, ew. Ugh. God. Again, these people are not your friends, girl. Anyway, Zoe and Cassie got very mad, calling me a selfish bitch who puts her teacher before her best friends, and that they thought I was making something for Zoe's mother, who was also pregnant. None of us know the gender yet. They demanded I make something to fix this mess, since Zoe already told her mom I was making her a blanket, and I refused. They're giving me the cold shoulder now, and Cassie even requested a roommate change. People are telling me I shouldn't ruin a 5-year relationship for just a hobby. Am I the asshole? Fuck no, you are not the asshole. That is a mess. I'm glad that she requested a roommate change, and I hope that she gets it, and I hope that you find a better roommate who's not horrible to you. This is crazy. Get these people out of your life ASAP, no Rocky. Wow. That just made my blood boil. Like, for them to have the audacity to like make fun of you all that time and telling you that it's such a waste of time and money that you're doing this, calling you grandma. The whole sending your picture without your permission and like putting an insulting caption under it, like, this is crazy work. And now they want to reap the benefits of your hobby, right? Something that you're doing for fun and enjoyment that you like to do and it like brings you joy to do, to be calling you out of your name because you don't want to make them something after all of this torment that they've been putting you through. No, you're not the asshole. They are assholes. They're not your friends. Just ew. Cut them off. Blocked. Gross. Move. Yeah. Let's see what people have to say. This person says, not the asshole at all. Let her request the roommate change. Maybe you'll end up with someone who isn't a bully. Those girls Those girls aren't your friends because friends don't make fun of you like that and then change their mind when it suits. Those are users. Stick to your guns. Don't make a baby blanket for your bully's mom. Get a new roommate and conquer the advanced patterns your bullies were asking you to do just out of spite. Become the best crocheter out there and be proud of it. Hell yeah, sister. This person says, not the asshole. First of all, these roommates of yours don't sound like friends. Real friends don't endlessly bully you for a harmless hobby and then take pictures of you without your consent to bully you. And even if they were good friends, you never have to make them art from your hobby even if you gift someone else art. You don't have to gift them anything even if they ask. It sounds to me like they changed their tune when you made people gifts and were being nice to get something from you. Them calling you selfish is a projection, and they're the bad roommates and friends here. Enjoy crochet for yourself and the nice people that matter. Exactly. This person says, not the asshole. The last time someone tried that with me, I'm a knitter, I wrapped them up a skein of cheap, terrible yarn and a pair of slightly sharpened chopsticks with a note that said, some assembly required. They certainly weren't a good friend to me, and I had no problem burning that bridge behind me. Heck yeah, I love that. Love that, love that, love that. That is perfect. Completely not the asshole. Ugh. Ugh. You know what? Karma's a bitch. Karma is a bitch, okay? She'll get ya. So those people will get what's coming to them, and all good things come to people who are put good things out into the world. So I hope that this girl got a new roommate who is nice to her, and I hope that she continues to enjoy, just being a nice crocheter who is gifting things to people who matter. All right, this one is a really short one, so it is titled, Am I the asshole for not crocheting a dress for my mom? Lots of dress crochet here. All right, it says, so my mom wants me to crochet this dress for her, and when she gave me the pattern, it shows multiple sizes going up to an XL. I looked at the measurements for each size and decided to take her measurements too because I didn't think she'd fit the XL. She's about 20 centimeters too big for each measurement. I told her it wasn't going to fit her and that I didn't want to crochet for hours making something that will never be worn. She said to just make it, and I said we should send back the yarn because it was $160 Canadian. Anyways, she's super pissed at me because I packaged all the yarn back up and it's sitting at the front door because I don't want to make it. Okay, very short and sweet. Nah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if maybe the story is just kind of shortened for brevity. But I don't necessarily think you're an asshole. I mean, I think you're being honest, right? There is no point in crocheting something that isn't going to fit her. But I mean, clearly that was a chance that she was willing to take, but I get it. It's like, imagine going through 50, 60, 70, 80 hours of work just for her to get the dress and then try it on and be disappointed that it doesn't fit. That would suck for both of you. I think you would be disappointed in all the work and time and effort that you put into it because it's just not going to get used, and she would be disappointed because she got this thing that she wanted and it's not going to work for her. So yeah, I don't necessarily think you're an asshole, but I mean, I don't know, maybe there's gentler ways to tell people things. But I mean, I completely get it. Let's see what the people have to say. This person says, not the asshole. In the age of the internet, find patterns that go to plus size. Find a suitable one and start over. I mean, yeah, that's an option too. Maybe be like, you know what? This particular dress that you want, the pattern, it's not going to work, but let's find you a different one maybe. Yeah. This person says, not the asshole. My mom crochets. I'm the one who hunts down the pattern she wants or finds yarn for her that meets the pattern. But while I don't crochet, I can read and translate the patterns for her. Worst was a US crochet pattern using a smattering of knitting terms like lift stitch. What in the world? I'm always on her back about pricing her time and effort properly when estimating a paid project. It took her an hour or so to crochet a little cape for an amigurumi, and that was not even the main part of it. Okay, I don't really feel like that had anything to do with the story at hand, but a lot of other people in the comments are saying stuff along the lines of your mom can just learn to crochet and just do it herself. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think There was probably a different way that this could have been handled, like maybe offer to make her a different type of dress that goes up to her size if you really wanted to do it. If you didn't, I mean, hey, no, there's no obligation to make things for people. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and say not the asshole, but I probably would have handled it a different way. All right, this last one is titled, Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend her blankets are pretty useless and impractical? I can tell I'm gonna love this one. Let's freaking go. I, 29 male, have been dating my girlfriend, 28 female, for 8 months. My girlfriend has many hobbies. Among them are crocheting and volunteering at a harm reduction center in our city. I won't pretend to know a lot about crochet because I've never done it, and she's the first person I know who does. Her work at the harm reduction center is simply badass though. She is really good at it and has saved someone's life before from an overdose. Wow, claps for her. For the past couple of weeks, she's been working a lot on blankets for the regulars in her center. I guess she does this every year when it starts to get cold out. She gets donations to buy yarn and then makes blankets for people in their favorite colors and in designs she thinks they would like. Blankets are her favorite things to make, so this is like a fun thing for her to get to do. I was blown away by how much money she spent on yarn this year, close to $500, and even though it's mostly not her money, I was just flabbergasted. My thing is that even though the stuff that she makes is pretty, that's about all it is. I've never personally reached for one of the blankets she's made for her apartment because when I look at them, they just have a lot of holes and gaps in them. I'm sure it's a design thing, but that type of blanket is basically for show. How warm can it be when if you stretch it out at all, you're making gaps in it? So I brought this up to her because I feel like with that much money, you can buy better blankets for cheaper and then use the rest to buy stuff for the center. And that her blankets wouldn't do anything to keep someone warm on the streets. She said that this is something all of the regulars look forward to every year because they need the blankets, but they also love having something that was handmade special for them, and some of them haven't had that in ages after living on the streets for so long. I said that that was fine, but a good feeling from the gift isn't enough to keep them warm. She said I was being obtuse, that they are warm, and that I always wear the scarf and hat she made me. Aren't those warm? But those are different because they're things you wrap tightly around yourself. She went back to her place upset and frustrated because she feels like I am intentionally not listening, but I feel like if you guys could see the stuff that she's making, you'd agree with me that they are completely useless blankets. I'm just gonna say it, this guy's a dickhead. Do you understand that the feeling of making somebody smile or feeling like you did something special for them that they might not have had in years, decades, who knows how long that these people have been on the streets? They come into this center, they're regulars, and there's this girl that works there, volunteers there, and she is making something special for them, even if it has gaps, whatever, like let's pretend it's like a double treble crochet, whatever. One, it is still a layer that they can wrap around themselves, and it is going to be slightly warm, but that feeling to them could be the difference between life and death. Seriously, it could be the thing that like brings them joy when they wake up and see it. Like, I don't know why I feel like I'm getting emotional right now, but truthfully, like, a blanket is just a blanket at the end of the day, but knowing that somebody made something for you, especially when you're in such a vulnerable position like that, can truthfully, like, turn your entire day around, your entire month, maybe, your entire year. And I think that it's completely ridiculous to be telling her that it's impractical and they're useless. Like, that's, what a fucking... Let's see what people have to say. Yes, the asshole for sure. I'm a crocheter and I know what you mean about the holes, but you should actually try a blanket out. They are very warm. You don't know what you're talking about. Your girlfriend sounds awesome. She should find someone else. This person says, okay, I know exactly what kind of blankets you're talking about because when I was homeless, I owned 3 blankets, one of which was a large crocheted one. They have lots of loops and gaps and look kind of webby. That blanket was the second warmest one I owned. And on top of it, it was pretty. Do you know what it's like to have nothing? To live in a tent and to wrap yourself up in anything you find, from blankets to old coats to plastic f***ing sheeting to stay warm? Do you know how cheap and ragged and awful your blankets get when you sleep on the ground every night? Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know if it's just like all the stress and stuff from the day that accumulated, but this is what I'm talking about. Like, I've had this like dream for a while, and it like, oh God, I really like to get um large like 2 yard pieces of fleece from Joann, even though Joann's is closing now. But I used to like to get them, one of them to be like in a fun print, and one side to be, and one of them just like a plain like color piece of fabric that kind of matches the print side, and just like cut all along the edges and like tie them together to make fleece tie blankets. Like that's one of my favorite things to make, and they are so freaking warm. I sleep with mine every single night, and I always thought like, you know, I mean, I don't have a lot of money, y'all, like I really don't, but I always thought like, you know what, I want to like save some money so that one year, like during the cold season, like November, December, January, you know, I can go and just buy a bunch of pieces of fleece and make a bunch of these types of blankets and just like hand them out to people if I see them on the street or, you know, whatever, because it gets so cold out there. And I'm like so blessed to be, you know, in my warm apartment, and I have food in my fridge, and I have a heater that I can turn on, and I have blankets, and I have sweaters, and I have all these things. And it makes me so sad to think that there's people and the little animals and stuff out there who don't have that. And I always wanted to do that, and like I know I haven't. And now I don't even know where I'm gonna be able to get fabric going forward. Freaking Joann's closing. It's so annoying. But anyway, my God, I didn't expect that like comment to get to me like that, but seriously, like I think that that is one of the biggest things. Like it's more than a blanket, seriously. Like, and I think these people, they're appreciative of anything. And so I'm just saying, like, yeah, what she's doing out here, that's God's work. And yes, I just think that this person is obtuse is like the perfect word for it. Like it's ridiculous that they would even think that. But anyway, let me finish the comment. That crocheted blanket was pretty. It cleaned up easy in the creek and dried fast on the clothesline. It was always the blanket I put over all the others because when you wrap it up around a blanket burrito, it holds heat so well. Your girlfriend's blankets are pretty, warm, and personalized. That's the kind of thing I would have killed for when I was sleeping rough. I am 100% sure they get other blankets donated as well, but these blankets are special. They're the kind of thing that people in need get excited and wait for all year. Just because you're spoiled for choice in your life doesn't change how much homemade blankets like that mean to you when you have so little. Stop belittling the work your girlfriend does just because you can't be bothered to understand why it matters. Wholeheartedly agree. That one really got to me. Let me see if I can find a funny one to like lighten the mood. I'm so sorry that I got emotional, you guys. Oh my gosh. This last comment I'm going to read says, "Wow, you know more than your girlfriend about running a nonprofit, what her clients want, the value of a handmade gift, the price of wool, and thermodynamics. How about instead of mansplaining to your girlfriend, you apologize for being obtuse and tell her how incredible it is that in addition to volunteering and literally saving lives, she goes above and beyond to ensure that these down and out people have something nice that was lovingly made just for them." Yes, absolutely, I agree. Actually, I lied. I'm going to read one more. This one says, "Yes, the asshole. Wow, you are an asshole. As someone that also does labor time for intensive fiber arts, including crochet, why the fuck do you care what she does with her time? It's her hobby. It makes her feel good to gift personalized blankets to people, and they're useful. Gaps don't make them non-functioning, and the main purpose of those gaps is to use less yarn so that you can make more blankets. They can still be warm. Nice that you don't need one of her blankets in your climate-controlled apartment. This is also a very common thing to do, crochet things for donation. There's always a group of, usually, older ladies in each community that crochet or knit blankets and hats for newborns, for example. Same thing goes with blankets for the homeless. Man, I'd be pretty pissed if my husband told me the crafts I handmade as gifts are useless." Yeah, that was such a stupid thing to say, honestly. Like, it is so much more than that. And also, yeah, crochet blankets are warm. Like, even if they do have gaps and stuff, like, ugh. Are you joking? How about you do try out one of the blankets that she has in her apartment, and then you'd see. And the official last comment that I'm going to read, because it's so short, says, "What a dumb hill to die on." Yes, the asshole. Couldn't have said it better myself, friend. And with all that being said, thank you guys so much for sticking around, hearing these stories with me, hearing my opinions on all of it. Thank you guys so much for always being here. You guys leave the sweetest comments. You guys are just so incredible. You're always subscribing. You're always just like doing the most. And I love you so much. Please, if you have your own stories, feel free to send them to my inbox. My email is linked down below. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. Much more to come. I hope everybody has an amazing rest of your day, week, month, night, whatever you're having. Please enjoy yourself, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.